You're very welcome.
Good afternoon, good morning. My name is Dominique Morgan, and this is Fly Nubian Money, where we teach you how to master your mindset and maximize your money. And I am here today with some amazing queens to help with this conversation. So we have Miss Renee, who is a clinical research strategist, and then we have our very own Miss Deborah Will Win from YouTube here with us, and we have a crazy conversation. Today's conversation is about people becoming it's becoming more common for people to do crazy things, right? A woman just went viral online for showing off luxury lifestyle, designer clothes, luxury cars, and what looked to be a dream home. But her lifestyle was all fake. She was squatting in a $2.3 million home. She was driving a luxury car that was allegedly stolen. So today we're talking about it: the pressure to look rich, the obsession with social media validation, and why people are willing to risk their freedom just to look successful online. Because fake wealth might get attention, but it will destroy your life. So let's get into it. So, ladies, when you hear this conversation, what's your first thoughts about it, Deborah?
Oh man, the pressure to keep up with the internet and society has gone wild. It's really sad that we're at this point in our lives as adults to have this type of peer pressure, and psychologically, what are we doing out here in these streets? It's something.
Yeah, I will agree. Like when I first heard of this conversation, this is something that's just all too common. And it's kind of sad because I don't understand, like, why do we have to feel that we have to look this part and not be real with who we are? And what I find is that people are more consumed with what people have as opposed to who people are, right? What is your character? What's your integrity? What's your moral compass? And people are kind of stuck in what looks good and not reality, right? So you can look like money, but if you don't have any of the character and integrity and you're scamming people, because this is what's happening. People are looking the part and people are trusting that the people are the part because they look the part and the people are not the part. So they're scamming them out of money and they're using your money to make them look richer, right? To get more people's money. So it's just kind of sad. So Renee, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, when I first read about the story, the first thing came to me was Kim Kardashian, because back in 2007, she used Ray J, or they worked and planned this coordinated to get so she can get out there. Now, what happens is, though, they're not telling the backdrop that Kim Kardashian comes from money. She has money. She has businesses. She did all that. But they made it seem like, oh, this poor girl, whatever is out here, and this is what happened. Bang, she blows up on the internet. A lot of young women saw that. And, I think that's reckless, because what happened is they're not looking at the backstory about who Kim Kardashian really was. And so now they're thinking, oh, is that what I need to do? Is that what I got to do to get, to make this money and to look successful and rich? And so, I'm thinking, I'm just not blaming it on Kim Kardashian, but I'm sure there was other people before her, but she was like, really, for me, that brought a lot of attention. And if you don't look at the story behind the story, then a lot of young women get caught into it. And then they say, okay, this is what I need to do. And then I don't have a plan after that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's teaching our young girls are following this. And it's like people are more focused on what you have as opposed to who you are. And it's becoming just so sad and reckless, to the point that people are losing their lives, right? You spending time in jail because you look this part doesn't make sense. You have young children that rely upon you, right? And you're in jail because you're scamming, to look a part to impress who? People that don't care about you, people that don't know you. It doesn't make sense. So I think we have a video for us to review or look at.
Page for it, but stop fucking following fake influencers, people who clearly have gotten their effing bodies done, lipo, abs put in, big ass tits. I guess that's fine. But BBLs, fucking their body done selling some fitness program. They're photoshopping their shit. Stop taking their advice. You're not gonna get skinny. You're never gonna look like that. If it don't really look natural, like if you see like, damn, how the fuck, it's probably not real. 9 times out of 10, it's not fucking real. But a lot of you guys fall for it. I see so many of you women. Damn, I wish I had genetics like that. Damn, I wish I was blessed like that. Babe, she wishes she was blessed like that too, and she just dropped 35, 40 grand on her body. The fuck you mean? I just hate seeing so many of you ladies get manipulated. So stop following this fake bullshit.
I would have to agree with that. You see a lot of fitness trainers and, you have subject matter experts. You've never sold real estate, but now you're the real estate guru, right? You've never, you went and got your body done. So yes, you're working out, but you got your body done. Now you're this fitness expert. It's just real crazy. So what do you think makes people want fake luxury lifestyle as opposed to trying to get the real one? Deborah, what's your thoughts?
To try to impress others, to make people think you're more than what you're not. And it's all, it's all a facade because we don't really care at the end of the day. You may say, oh, this looks nice or that looks nice, but it's an attention seeking behavior. You want people to see you. You want to be on the gram. You want to be, recognized for having like the latest or the newest designer wear. And we just found out that all of those designers are making their stuff right in the same place where they say the so-called fake things are made. So no one really knows what you have. So why even put yourself out there? Like I said, it's a psychological rabbit hole.
Yeah. And even when you think about celebrities, right? They get this name brand stuff. Oftentimes they're given the stuff for free so that they can advertise it so that you can go and buy the stuff. And now you're in the hole. So you got this $2,000 bag, but your bills are not paid. You have this $2,000 bag, but you don't have any money in the bag. So it doesn't make sense. And they're wearing the bag for free so that you can buy it. And so now you're struggling to get this bag, but they got the bag for free. Deborah, what are your thoughts? Do you think that social media increases, the pressure to look rich?
Social media definitely does, especially in our very younger community. It does. They feel the peer pressure of it. Somebody's constantly posting. They're posting the good pictures, but you never get to see the hard work that goes behind how many times it took to take that picture or how hard it took to create what they have. They just think it's instant because it's called Instagram, but no, they had to work behind the scenes. Even if you're scamming, you got to work hard to scam.
Yeah.
So you might as well get it the honest way.
Yeah. People get obsessed with people's highlight reels, right? I'm not going to post a bad picture of myself. I probably posted the 100 pictures that I've taken. So these are people's highlight reels, and people get obsessed with the highlight reels as opposed to reality. And it's just really, really sad. Renee, do you think that this is out of desperation or do you think it's out of greed?
No, I believe it's out of desperation, and it's it's basically quick success, respect, and quickly they can it's a confidence booster, instead of, the slow, easy, the rabbit, just slow and easy, amassing your money and that's boring, right? That's boring to just be behind the scenes and doing it slow, making sure you calculate and put together and put it up and have those plans, those thought forms. But why not be instant success? And this is what I got and blah, blah, blah. That's fast and quick. And just like they say that a video only get the people's attention 3 seconds. That's it, right? So it's quick, it's easy, and it builds their confidence. So it's not greed, it's attention. And that's what people are looking for, attention.
Yeah, I agree. So Deborah, this one's for you. Why do you think people value appearances more than stability?
I thought about that. And I think back to even during slavery, the only time that, you were able to dress up was when you went to church. And America judges us on our appearance before they judge us on, do you know how to do a thing? And then our community, your parents always tell you to make sure you have on clean clothing, clean underwear, clean, socks and all those things because we are doubly judged. We're judged on the color of our skin before our content, and we are also judged on how we look and appear. So we could be as smart as a scientist, but if we're not dressed properly as a Black community, we always, get judged first. So with that being said, we all, that has been embedded in us, how we look, how we appear. And, sometimes I have been at fault with my own children and say, oh, make sure you look like, or make sure you, like always like that. Because it was instilled in me and it was instilled in my mother, instilled in my grandmother. So I think as a community, that's just something that we have had to deal with. Now going forward is different.
Yeah.
Oh, producers in the building.
Hey, Miss Producer, welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to come on and join y'all. I figure, maybe I can lend some expertise just from being in Hollywood and seeing a lot of people fake it till they make it, even before it was a thing. Like so I just wanted to join the conversation.
Yeah. So, what I find is if you have two people standing side by side, right? People are going to more so go towards the person that looks like money as opposed to the person that has money. And so I think that we have this pressure to look like money because we know that looking like money really gets you more money, whether you get the money legitly or you don't. Because if you have somebody that's standing next to you that just looks average, right? Like you can't be getting money. You don't look like money. In actuality, this person probably has more money than the person that looks like money, but we're programmed to look at it from a different perspective. And so it kind of gets us in trouble because we chase that as opposed to really getting to know a person, having a conversation, getting some background information to kind of see where this person is. What have you done? What does your portfolio look like? And I've gotten into the habit of asking the hard questions because I'm not turned on by that, right? I want to know a person for who you are. I treat everybody the same, whether you're the custodian or you're the CEO. We're all human beings, right? We're all having an experience. And so when you think about this stuff happening and how people are able to manipulate people and get over on people just based on how they look, that speaks volumes to where we are as a society, right? I think Miss Producer, I think we got another video.
We do. And it's because of copyright issues, y'all. I just want to say that I could not actually share videos from what we are talking about today, but I did want to just talk about like the fact that this young lady is I think it just causes a lot of delusion in terms of like for you to move into someone's house, right, while they're away, basically is what happened. The family was overseas. And I don't know how she figured out that they were overseas, but this woman was able to get in their home. She was able to squat there for several months. She was able to drive their cars and just really create this persona online. And so I just thought it was really interesting. So I actually just pulled videos of people that are basically where we won't get flagged for copyright. So y'all gotta excuse me. But let's roll our next video. If it wants to, yeah. So here is a couple that actually was on the internet that we've, oh no, okay, all right. There's a little bit of a freezing. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, all right, y'all, hold on. Bear with me. But while we pull it, okay, here we go. technical difficulties.
Both ages 45 and 44 respectively. They are known to be internet personalities that's living a luxurious lifestyle. Turns out the luxurious lifestyle came with a twist, and Lululemon was their main target. Here's the jig. The way the scam works is that Jay Icon would first enter a Lululemon store, purchase a cheap item, put a security tag on it, check out, and get a receipt. Meanwhile, he is doing all that Apple would walk in the store, take quite a few items off the racks, put them under her clothes in an attempt to leave the store. The couple would then leave the store together. Apple would first leave the store, and Jay Icon would swiftly follow, so the alarm would go off. Of course, Jay Icon would then act surprised and get his bag checked. Apple would continue walking out of the store, and there you have it, another successful day. They would then return the items at a different store for cash. Over time, they stole $1 million in clothing from Lululemon. They eventually got caught, and at the time of this video, they took a plea deal but haven't been sentenced. Jadion Jav Icon Richards and his wife Aquila Apple Laws Richards were arrested and charged.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But think about this. If you have the mindset to do something like that, you can legit turn that into something successful. Like they're actually smart in a sense. Not smart, but they're kind of smart. Like you're creative. You know how to make money. You know how to do certain things. Why not put that energy into something positive as opposed to something that's going to jeopardize your life? So this question is for you, Renee. What kind of mindset leads someone to risk jail just for attention?
A poor mindset, poverty, and wanting to get it quick. I was just thinking about when we were talking about slavery and how, from back from slavery, how, what it is also. We did go to church. They went to church and they had to have on their best thing because that is what they had. That is what made them feel good. And then that, trickled on down to us today. It's like, I may not have got any money, but I sure do look good, so it's a poverty mindset. And it's just, what can I get? And it's just sad. It's really sad because we're geared towards that, or we're looking at that and not really looking at the true essence of what a person is and what they can be.
Yeah, that's true. Deborah, what are your thoughts?
$1 million? $1 million? Like, that is bananas. $1 million. They're going to hire them to help them catch other thieves, because how do you do that? And a lot of times that's what the government is doing. When you are good at a crime, they will hire you now to be almost like a consultant for them to help them catch other criminals. Like, they could have their own security company. They could have created a security company. Like, what? $1 million? That's a contract. That's a real contract.
My thing is, like, at some point, don't you think you will stop? Like, get the money. If you're gonna do it, stop at some point, because it's inevitable. You're gonna get caught. And
it's an adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush. They didn't get caught. They didn't get caught this time. We could do it again. We could do it again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Producer, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What's the mindset that will lead someone to risk jail for attention? I think you're muted. I think you're muted. We can't hear you. Okay. So she's gonna go out and come back in. So Renee, a quick question for you. Why do you think so many people think looking rich equates to being successful?
Looking rich equates, well, fake it till you make it. That's what's been, that's been told to me. I mean, I'm sure that's told you. And so it's also the energy when you're thinking about manifestation and this is what I need and what to do. So, basically fake it until you make it. And that's been also ingrained in us as well. So,
yeah.
Do you believe in manifestation? I mean, do you believe that if you do fake it till you make it, do you make it? Do you know anyone? Does anyone know anyone who's faked it and made it?
I don't know. I think that when we're talking about You know, these people are being extreme, right? I get faking it until you're making it, right? You know, I'm clean, I'm cute, my hair's done, my nails done, but they're going to the extreme. You're robbing people's lives. You know, you're stealing people's cars. I don't think that we have to fake it to that extent in order to make it. Yes, you can be clean, you can be nice, because I do believe that what is for you is going to be for you. And then there's nothing, you're going to be in rooms. Sometimes it's just people that you meet, people that you know. So taking it to those extremes, I think that's extreme, faking it until you make it, as opposed to saying, hey, yes, I'm manifesting this for my life. Yes, I want this for me. I'm speaking this over my life. This is going to happen for me. I'm going to show up. You know, I'm going to get into rooms. That's a different mindset than a mindset of I'm going to scam and I'm just going to steal and this is just what's going to happen. That's a totally different mindset than, you know, faking it until you're making it. So I think that you can look at it from both perspectives. I don't think they're trying to fake it until they're making it. They're just trying to get over and trying to be greedy, you know, the adrenaline rush, you know, the fun stuff. So I think that's what it is. Deborah, what are your thoughts?
There's no such thing as faking it till you make it. You got to do the work. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You cannot. Yeah, the manifestation is give me the strength, God, to be able to do what I need to do and to manifest this from the work that I put into it. They made it. They put in the work to keep stealing. They stole and they got away with it until the manifestation rope said, okay, that's enough. We pulling you back now. That's enough. That's enough. We've been watching you long enough. We got enough evidence. We can go on and put y'all in jail now. $1 million? That's a lot of felony charges.
Keep saying that. $1 million? $1 million?
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of money, you know.
That's a lot of faking it.
A whole lot of. So, Miss Producer, so you being in Hollywood, why do you think people think looking rich equates to being successful just from being in the scene?
Yeah, I think you said something earlier that was important. When you look like you have something, when you roll up, especially in Hollywood, when you roll up in a Range Rover, as opposed to rolling up in a Honda, it just looks different. It feels different, and people want to be in that. And you know, to an extent, there's part of this town that's not real either, right? You meet with people and they be like, "Honey, we gotta do lunch. We gotta do lunch." You be like, "Okay," and then they never call you. It's just like the air of like, this is fake, right? Kind of like that air of the internet. So I think Hollywood is the first internet where you can create these perceptions like things are real, but they're not. But I think that like the internet is the ultimate fake place. And if you don't get, the ultimate reality show, coming from someone that is a former reality show producer, like I watched it. I watched people say like, listen, I produced it. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how I'm going to curate this story. As long as I can tell you a story and get you to believe it and get people talking. There's whole blogs and boards where people, sometimes I'll go in the shade room and I see people really like discussing people's lives. Like, because Christy and Jim knew that they shouldn't have been this. And did you see Mama D when she was, or whoever, right? All of that is like, it's contrived. Like we produced that. Right. So, and that's why ultimately I left reality TV because of that, because I was like, what am I contributing to the world really? Like, what am I doing here? And how can I really like, this is not what I want to do. This is not the legacy that I want to leave. So, in long story long, I think that the internet is the ultimate version of that, where anybody ever anything can be real. I mean, and especially with like the implementation of AI now, anything really can be real. And so we got to watch when we're on these platforms and watching these people, because they're creating this fairy tale land. It's like Disneyland. Like I'm putting this thing up, and you know, there's a lot of us that's like, I want to keep it real, but there's a lot of people that just be like making up shit, and then you know, okay, and I'm gonna shut up. But I remember I was talking to this young man, and I remember one day we had went to like look at a house or something, and I was like, oh my God, you know. And we were in Dallas, and it was this beautiful condo, and he was getting pictures and all of that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I kid you not, y'all. Before the end of the day, he was like, yeah, looking at a new crib that I might buy. I said, oh, what is that, right? Like, It was just so strange to me because you're not thinking about buying anything. We literally were walking, like going on a hike or a walk, and we walked into a spot and you got some footage. Now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I might let it go. I might buy it. I'm like, you're not buying this. I don't like that. He was like, no, no, it's just like, entertainment for my audience. And that's the way people think. This is entertainment for my audience. But one day you're going to have to pay that piper. And if you don't got money to buy whatever, you're going to figure out how to get it, whether that looks like a scam or not. So I would just say it's like that. I love what you said earlier, Deborah, about peer pressure, because we are like, it's like high school. People are really like pressured to come up with money and look a certain way. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. So I got another question. So when you think about what's happening now with all this stuff, how do you think, and I'm gonna give this one to you, Deborah, how do you think this is impacting our children?
Man.
Yes, I do think about our children. I think about, like, even when I was in elementary school, there was peer pressure then, who had the nice Nike sneakers or, whatever the apparel was at that time in the 80s, the bomber jackets. I remember I wanted that bomber leather jacket so bad back then. And my mom was so afraid because they were robbing the kids of their jackets. You go on the subway, things of that nature. And now it's just magnified a million times more because of social media. You just never know, like, what the next fad is going to be, what the next fashion is going to be. That adds the pressure. I was watching a video. I love Kevin on Stage, and he was talking about relationships, and he was like saying, not that his wife Melissa is a Bugatti, but he was saying, people will be like, "Oh, Rolls Royce is nice." He said, "But I know what I got at home. I got the Bugatti at home, and the Bugatti is nice, and the Bugatti adds value. So why would I want that Rolls Royce? Like, that Rolls Royce ain't gonna give me what I got. I know what I got." It's best to know who you are, know what you got inside of you. You know what I'm saying? We make the clothing, we make everything pop in our society. So we just got to know it and own it. We ain't got to do all that scamming because, listen, all you're going to do is run up somebody else's bill giving you commissary money. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And I will have to agree with you. So I have, as you guys know, I have two children. So I have a 20-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. My 14-year-old can care less about anything fashion related. He doesn't care what he looks like. He's not interested. Now, my 20-year-old, I remember when she was in high school, she had Gucci on her back to school list. Ma'am, who's buying you Gucci in high school? Like, why is this even on your list? But again, we have social media, right? And so social media is saying like, you're cool, or you're that person if you're wearing this stuff. And it's like, no, but who are you as a person? And so that's something that I, have to chronically have conversations. And she's good, like she's very confident, she knows who she is, but it's like that stuff does not define you. And I had to have those conversations younger. That stuff doesn't define who you are, because the fact of the matter is, if it defines who you are, if we take it away, then what happens to who you are? Right? That's why kids, you see kids, committing suicide at higher rates, because they don't feel good enough, because they're comparing themselves to people's highlight reels, not the reality. And it's kind of sad. So Renee, what's your thoughts on that related to children, especially having a child?
I agree that, and again, I use the word reckless, and I really wish that a lot of the celebrities would, take accountability and really see what they're doing and how they're contributing to the normal kids, and that's who they're targeting, right? Where we're spending all our money, like, let's just say, you see, I'm not into Nikes and all of that, but Michael Jordan, my son had to have all the tennis shoes, those are the things. And it's just, and for to have that mentality and have that pressure is reckless. And there's some of the basketball players, I hear that they are now understanding that they're putting out tennis shoes that they can afford, and that they put them on their feet, so they make sure that people see that, so they don't feel like they're pressured that they have to look good and spend $200 to feel validated as a person. So I never was into that. Obviously, you can tell I was never into the Gucci, the whatever. I was always just into education and trying to further myself and be a better person.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like I'm an experienced person. I like experiences. I'm not necessarily
Yeah.
into things. Now I like my hair done, I like my nails done, but those are things that I can do for myself. So I'm gonna smell good, my hair's gonna be done, and my nails are gonna be done all the time. Like that's me, but I think that it when you're thinking about this type of stuff, right? It stops your creativity because what happens is everybody is looking the same, right? Everybody has the Louis Vuitton bag, everybody had the Gucci bag. They all look the same. So where is the creativity in all of this, right? Yes, this stuff is nice, but everybody's wearing it. And then you don't know what's fake versus what's real. You got celebrities that wear fake. They're not even wearing the real, on top of the fact that when they wear the real, they're giving this stuff for free, right? Because they want them to advertise it so that us people, right, can go and buy it, which is crazy to me. So Miss Producer, my question to you is, with you being in Hollywood in these spaces, right? When do you have people that are different than the norm, that don't care about the looks and they don't care what they drive, to the studios? They're not interested in that. Do you run across that often?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you get artists that just care about the art. I mean, y'all see, people like Kendrick Lamar and, different people that just like J. Cole who really just be like, or, that have substance. But then you have people that do enjoy those things. And they also, I would say, have substance. I'm actually a girl. I have luxury bags. I like those things too. But I think I also grew up in the 90s and early 2000s when it was like the thing, right? Like when, it was a thing and we were watching hip hop and I was like, oh, Rockaware, bet, Sean John, bet, some Manolo Blahnik Tim's like Beyonce, bet. I think I say that all the time. Like that's what I was doing in college. I was taking my refund checks and going and buying the things. And so it was cute. I mean, I regret it now in my old age, but as a young girl, I never departed from that, but now I know what's important. So I say, yes, there are people that don't get caught up in the trends and there are people that are. But I think it's so important to just say, like, now in the space where everybody can be a brand, I think online, everybody wants to be a brand. Everybody wants attention. Everybody is vying for attention. It's like, everybody, every now every person's a celebrity, right? Every person is a guru, like you were saying. You done read a book or two, got on ChatGPT, now you're a real estate guru, now you didn't work, like it's just different. And so people are selling courses, they're selling people on things. Everybody is trying to make a living. And so I just think that that's also interesting too, like this economy or this marketplace where everybody is somebody and trying to be somebody. Nobody's regular anymore. Everybody is making, according to the internet, everybody is making millions of dollars, right? That's according to the internet. If you depending on how you're positioning yourself, it's just yeah, as No Malenga would say, it's just rubbish. She would crack up if she heard me say that. But it's trash. The narrative is trash.
I
Yeah.
have a question. Am I hating or when? Okay, it's Beyonce. I love Beyonce and her dance rep, but
We
she
love
has like and I'm not promoting it, but because my son tried to use it, whatever. But the shampoo, he says like the shampoo cost him like $75, and so my question is, every other quarter. I'm just using her as an example. There's the shampoo line, then the perfume line, then is there a stop to it? I mean, is it just that they're all into what they can do for their family and their legacy, or are they and is just selling to just sell to us? Or do you think is there some real intention behind it when they're thinking about these products that they're out there selling at $75 for a 2-ounce bottle of shampoo or conditioner?
Right. I mean, I'll say I like Beyonce, and I think she's a businesswoman like everybody else. She's trying to corner the market and maybe do, yeah, I think what it feels like is a lot of our celebrities are trying to get to $1 billion, right? Obviously, they are billionaires at this point, but I just think she's a business lady. And so she's getting in on that enterprise. You can buy it or you don't have to buy it, or you can buy it or you don't have to buy it. But I know she also does, good for the community. Like they got the Be Good Foundation and all types of stuff that Beyonce does. And I know she gets a lot of, and not just necessarily Beyonce, because, I'm a fan and I follow the things that she does. But I know they do a lot of good things in the community too. And I know a lot of the celebrities do a lot of good things. They don't necessarily be like, here's what I do, but a lot of them do good. But they are business people. They're trying to get in like everybody else.
Yeah. And they're not scamming people. So, people have
That's
a choice, whether you buying these courses or buying celebrities products, you have a choice. Now the scammer is that's a whole nother thing. Like
Yeah.
you're stealing from people, you're stealing from brands, you're stealing from people that put their time, their money, and their energy into, doing something positive. That's a
Yeah.
whole different thing. Beyonce, people have a choice whether they're going to buy that or not.
Yeah.
These people that have these courses, you have a choice, whether you're going to purchase that course or not, whether this person has the information or is really a subject matter expert. We have a choice. So
Mhm.
I think that's the difference. They're setting stuff up legitly, right?
Mhm.
If we're positioned in a way and I have the influence, of course I want a quality product. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm putting out a quality product to my standard, to the best of my ability. And then if you purchase it, yes, I'm thinking about my bottom line, but I also want to make sure that I'm helping your hair grow, or you're smelling good, or you're a subject matter expert in whatever area that I'm producing this book or this workshop for. So I think it's a difference between people that are stealing, right? You're taking my money, but you're not giving me a course. You're moving into my home, right? Stealing my life. And you're doing it fraudulently, right? You just moved in while I'm gone. So I think it's a difference, but I think that we have another video as well.
We do. And also it's just about what's being projected, like contributing to a narrative that's not real, right? You're like driving a luxury car, you're doing all these things, making it seem a certain way. And everybody, and whether you want to know, whether you want to believe it or not, the internet causes a lot of envy. It causes a lot of jealousy. It causes a lot of comparison. People are constantly scrolling and comparing their lives to others and saying, dang, man, I'm behind. I'm not like this person. So I think that's where I think we missed that. Like that's not even real. So stop comparing yourself. Yeah, I think you said that earlier, Dominique, to things that you don't even know is real. This is fake. All of it is fake.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next.
Whatever you're putting in your application, you have to, exaggerate the numbers a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that you at least make at least $65K or more when
It went off a little early, but the whole point of that is like also people are giving out fraudulent information. This young lady went to jail for for tax fraud and for credit card fraud. But she was on the internet saying, okay, so what you want to do is make sure that when you fill it out, you make more than this, even if you don't. So people can literally, not only are they going to jail, they're trying to get you in jail and you following their advice. Go ahead, Dominique.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's just crazy out here because even when you think about, even with the video, right? When you're thinking about, like, you really have to vet this information too, right? So when people are giving you information, you need to do your own research and do your own due diligence to make sure that what they're saying is valid and not reliable, because you go and do this stuff. Now you end up in jail with this person when you're just taking their advice and they may not even be accurate. You understand what I'm saying? And then another thing I wanted to talk about comparison, right? We're thinking about people's highlight reels. And we've heard multiple stories of people that they looked like they had the ideal life and they're committing suicide, like that beauty pageant that jumped out the window. Her life on the outside seems so amazing, right? And we have to really be careful when we're thinking about this. But the fact of the matter is, if you put something positive online, the drama is going to get attention before the positive,
right.
Or whatever's trending. Like, and it's just sad how it's set up and how social media just creates these narratives, like, hey, this is what it is, or this is what it looks like, or this is the ideal life. And we take that into our subconscious and we're living in that. And so we have to be careful about that. And even when it comes to our children, having conversations and being okay with not getting the likes, but just being authentically who you are and being true to yourself and being real. So I have a question for you, Deborah. Do you think people are addicted to validation more than money itself?
100% yes. It is giving this whole scenario and the internet and influence is giving Wizard of Oz. It's giving it's giving all the characters of the Wizard of Oz. Because when you get to Oz, you realize that Oz is not who Oz is. It's all a facade. It's all smoke and mirrors. And like you said, if you just hone in on your own characteristics and who you are as a person, know your worth, then your light within you will shine. It'll produce the things it needs to produce. Tap into your skills and your talents. You don't have to scam and scheme to do that. It will come to you if you're truthful about it. Now, if you're negative and your drama, you're gonna get something to come to you, but I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Deborah said that, because people should watch what they're saying on the internet. You may be saying glitz and glamour and this is what you're doing, but guess what? There's enforcement that is watching this stuff as well. Because I remember one time I came on Facebook and I wanted to get another account, I didn't want just that account, I wanted a different account. And literally the police lady said, what's your name, blah, blah, and then she blinked out. She let it go or whatever. And I'm like, what? Why is she trying to find out who I was? But they are behind the scenes watching all the communication that's going on, and that's real.
Yeah. But I'm gonna add something to this. So, of course, you all know that I'm a real estate agent. So I list properties frequently. And so I had someone reach out to me maybe 2 weeks ago about a listing that I had just put on the market. And she was saying, this seems weird. This property is completely rehabbed. I work with a lot of investor clients. So this house was rehabbed, very nice property. And so the lady was looking for a place to rent. And the person asked her, hey, I got this property. It's my listing. And she said, it just didn't seem right. He told me that it may be a for sale sign outside and just ignore the for sale sign. This is the monthly amount. You just need to send me a deposit, but you can't get into the property until you send me the deposit.
Yeah.
So I took the information and I reached out to the man myself because I was just curious to know, like, how many people, because you can't get into the property. So how many people is he doing this to? And so I reached out to him, social media. I said, hey, I got this client that's looking to rent this property. I gave him the area. So I gave him all the criteria that would lead him to telling me this property. He told me the property. He sent me my own pictures and told me everything he told her. He told me, don't pay attention to the for sale sign. I can't get you into the property. I need $750 deposit before you can even get into the property, all of that. So I was trying to just gather evidence. So I just wanted evidence. I reported it to social media. Nothing's done about it. So sometimes when you have these situations, it's hard to get rid of scammers because they have legit pages. They look like legit people. So people have to be so careful and they have to think about these things. Like, how are you paying for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house that's newly rehabbed $1,900 a month in rent? It has to make sense. But because, sometimes people, one, they're desperate. We get desperate, and two, like, we want this ideal of this place. Like, oh my God, I can have this house and I can rent this, to the point where we give up money. This man is not doing this. He's not just doing this aimlessly. He's doing it because he's made money doing it. When you go to his page, you see all this stuff, and you can't always just immediately get these things shut down, which is the unfortunate part, because people can continue to scam over and over and over again because we allow it, in a sense, because we feed into it. This lady just so happened, it raised the red flag for her. So she brought it to my attention. So now I can report it to the police, whether something is done about it. Maybe I could prevent somebody from doing it, because this is what happens all so often to us. And it's horrible. So I have a question for you, Ms. Producer. How do you think that when people do these type of things, that it affects their reputation permanently?
It's definitely going to affect their reputation because the internet is forever. And so there's that, right? You have to deal with that. But You said something earlier, Deborah said something earlier, and I was just thinking like of programming. I was thinking about television. I was thinking about the internet is basically the new television. And so if what you watch is you watch drama, you watch, you watch television to disassociate from your reality. You watch reality TV to disassociate from your reality. So you're thinking about what your life can be and fantasizing about that, kind of living in that limerence, right? And so it just made me think about the programming, right? So we come on the internet, and the internet is, I saw a comment yesterday. A girl was like, man, baby, it was like under Glorilla's sisters. Glorilla's sister is still at it, doing all the things, right? Making money, doing sketches where she belongs. But there was somebody in the comments like, baby, the internet is better than TV since 1990, whatever, right? And I thought that that was so funny because, yeah, I mean, it's turned into this new space. And I think there are these sections where people are projecting these lifestyles. And if we're going to bring it back to what's reality and what's real, it's like we watch these reality stars. The difference now is we used to watch TV in the 90s and it was like, well, not for me because I'm here in Hollywood, but when I watched TV, I used to watch Angela Bassett and Nia Long and all those, and I used to be like, I want to do what they're doing. But I was thinking the art of being an actress. I wasn't thinking I want to be glamorous because we didn't even know they were living glamorous lives or what was happening in the 90s. You had to just want to be an actress. You had to want to have that. Now, you don't have to want to know how to do anything. To Renee's point, you could be like a Kim Kardashian, even though Kim Kardashian was a stylist and she was like trying to find her way and hanging with Paris Hilton and then, hanging around celebrities and became her own it girl. I'm not even mad at Kim because Kim is a businesswoman. Like Kim be doing her thing. Like I'm not anyway. But what it's created is this space where normal people are sitting at home saying, I can have this. No longer, I don't have to be Angela Bassett. I don't have to have a talent. All I have to do is fight and get on baddies. All I have to do, and then I can live a luxury life. All I have to do is be salacious, say things that are mean and hurtful or mean and spiteful or just, kick up some dust and I'll get the attention and I'll be able to be rich. And so when they get a little money, because I mean they'll you can sign a reality TV show contract and they might pay you, let's say you get $50,000, $100,000, but that's for like 7 years, right? They got your likeness, your contract, all of it. So these people are like living off $100,000 for 7 years. They got to figure out something. So that's why you get the Wendy's and these housewives who become scammers and come in because they don't have no money. They got $100,000 that they got to live off of for like 10 years because that's how long the networks keep their likeness. And so anyway, I went off on a thing, but that is part of that.
Yeah. Do we have any stats?
We do have some stats. Here we go.
Studies show social media users report higher levels of financial insecurity and comparison anxiety, especially when constantly exposed to luxury content.
Correct.
Identity theft and fraud have increased significantly in the last few years, with millions of Americans reporting being victims of scams connected to online activities. So true.
Mm-hmm.
According to Consumer Finance Reports, nearly 40% of Americans say they would struggle to cover a $400 emergency, showing how far many people are from financial stability, even when trying to appear.
Yeah.
The average new car payment in the U.S. is around $700 per month, and luxury cars can easily push payments to $1,200 to $2,000 per month, not including insurance.
And the last one.
The median home price in the U.S. is over $400,000, meaning a $2.3 million home is far outside of reality for the average person. That's why luxury lifestyle instantly grabs attention online.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I want to talk about the car note thing. Like, I remember back in the day, you can get a $300 car note, and now even a Hyundai, you'd be like, what? How much? And then the insurance on top of that. My daughter's trying to get a car, and I'm like, ma'am, you need to hold on for a minute. Like, it's just crazy to think about it. And even thinking about it from a real estate perspective, a lot of people, their purchase power is decreased based on car notes. And there's no control over it at all, right? You people need a car to get around. So how do we function? Like, what are your thoughts about car notes?
Who?
Deborah.
Deborah. What you thinking?
Car notes. Oh my gosh, car notes are mortgages now. So mortgage payment, and forget about the note, the insurance in New York. Oh my goodness, on a car that is just like well, as they call a hoopty, no liability, no full coverage needed, you're gonna pay about $300 a month just for liability in New York. So it's crazy because insurance is a scam too now.
Yeah.
That's how people are using it as a come up, and it's causing the premiums to go higher and higher. And the government, they're not doing anything about it to help us. So, they just want us all in the struggle pool.
Yeah. Real quick, for you, Renee, why do you think people chase luxury brands instead of real assets like home ownership?
Oh, well, we've been talking about it all morning or afternoon. It's all about the appearances and it makes them feel good. It's instant gratification. If they can get it quickly and it feels good and it's attention grabber, that's what's going to go. And that's what's flying nowadays.
Yeah. But a nice, you would think that, I agree with you in terms of it being instant, like having a house, like to me, that would be a flex, like having a nice house. Yes, you can have the luxury items, but having a house would be the real flex if I'm thinking about it from that perspective. But I guess people, they just don't. Do you think, Ms. Producer, do you think we've normalized fraud in our culture?
Oh, normalized fraud. I want to add to what you just asked at Renee, but have we normalized fraud? I hope not. I hope not. I hope we have not. I think we've normalized insecurity and comparison and making people feel worthless and all of the things that would make someone be fraudulent or look at that as an option. And I just think it's all programming, right? To go back to what you just said. Renee said instant, and that's exactly what I thought. I was like, it's instant, right? Most people want to look rich. I remember one time I was talking to a celebrity and he was like, it's crazy because people want to come and they take pictures with me because they want the look. They haven't said like, oh, can you mentor me? I would love to get to know you. I would love to, they just want a picture. So then they could take that to the internet and look a certain way. Right. Which I thought was really interesting. I was like, here I am like, man, I want a mentor. Can you work with me? He was like, man, you know what? It's so funny because people don't ask me that. I don't get that ask as often as you would think. Because people just want a picture so they can go on and be like, I remember when I met Chris Brown or whoever. And so I would just say it's programming. You said something about like instant. I'm just thinking we're programmed through content. We can't watch a video for more than a minute or two. You need the microwave. You need, like everything is like do an accelerated program. So you ain't got to you don't have to read short form content. You can go to ChatGPT for answers immediately. Like it's all the things that just don't help us have that long-term thinking of like, let me invest. If I invest $10,000 today, in 20 years, this $20,000 or this $10,000 is going to become $50,000. Like nobody is, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. That's not a flex.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. So I have a final question that I'm going to ask all the ladies, and then I want you guys to let everybody know where they can find you. So what lessons should viewers take from this story? And I'm going to start with you, Renee.
And Renee, before we hop off, I want Renee to tell us her Black History fact, but we can do it after final thoughts.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. The final thought that I have is that we, as a society, and especially Black people, that we need to just think about legacy and where we want our children and their families and instant gratification and trying to get it quickly is not going to work. It's not going to happen. And so when you're thinking about your family, aren't you thinking about long term, about their kids, their kids, their kids? Well, then that's the same way we have to start thinking about ourselves and what we're trying to build. And the instantaneous actions today, we should have another different mindset and come through it with confidence and love of ourselves and for our family.
Yep. And where can they find you?
Thank you. I'm Renee Williams. I'm promoting I'm CycleSync, and it's tricyclesync.com. It is a AI-powered cycle optimization, menopause, and maternal health equity for for mothers. Basically, Black women are die at the 3% higher than white women when it comes to giving birth. So what the AI power does is that you can put in your symptoms and whatnot and all of that. It will collect it for you. And then when you walk into the doctor's office, you have receipts and a report showing exactly what you can talk to your doctor about and make sure that you're healthy.
Nice.
Amazing.
Okay, you, Deborah?
My final thought is this. We have to prepare our next 2-3 generations, and telling them to live a real lifestyle, invest their money, buy property, become entrepreneurs, get educated, because that smoke and mirrors is not going to last long. And scamming is only going to lead to, it's going to cost you more in the long run. Anything illegal costs you more in the long run. So I know, and for me, with my 8 grandchildren and 1 great grandson, I am definitely encouraging them to be entrepreneurs. My son's an entrepreneur, my daughter's an entrepreneur. Um, and they are learning about business from watching their dad, their aunt, their moms. They are learning about business by creating their own brands. My grandson has a clothing line. My granddaughter likes to cook, so she's selling plates. It's like all the things. We're making books about the grandchildren and things like that. So they're learning how to do the hard work behind the scenes, and social media is teaching them as well. They're teaching me some things that I never even knew. So we have to pay it forward in a positive way, use social media in a positive way, not in a negative way, especially when it comes to our community, because we're going to be scrutinized to the highest extent of the law. So we need not to play around with it in that manner. My name is Deborah E. Williams. I can be found as Deborah Wilwin 11 on YouTube. And this has been a great conversation today. Thank you, ladies.
It's
Thank
crazy.
you, Miss Deborah. And Miss Producer.
Dominique, did you
Yes.
hear Deborah say that she had grandchildren and great grandchildren and she's
Where?
30?
Where?
How she had a baby when she first was born. How is that?
Wait,
How is that?
where?
30-year where? I love when she says that because I put her on the spot every time.
Okay, and for you, what would you tell our viewers?
Don't do it. Don't do it. No. I'm gonna echo what the lady said because I think the third time is a charm, but I'll just add this. It wasn't until I worked with Les Brown that I started to think about life a little differently. Les was, we went on he was having like a tour of some sort. And I remember him talking about the 100-year plan for our families. What's your 100-year plan? And I was like, 100-year plan? A 100-year plan? I don't know. I hadn't even considered. But the more I thought about it and the more I just kind of processed it, I was like, what amazing, how amazing would it be for your picture to be at the center of at someone's house, because you are the person. It's like how we live forever, right? By having, and I think about it like that, like in everybody's house they have a picture of you. Why? Because you were the person that like set them up forever, right? Like, I remember seeing I think the Rockefellers have like a wall or something where like all of the Rockefellers are all down the wall, but all of them are, it's the chief starter, like that started that. And then, from then it's been a thing. So I just started to think about my legacy in that way, like, and think about 100-year plan. So think about your 100-year plan and what can we do today for that 100-year plan. I think if you can process life in that way, I think that it makes a difference in how you move and how you, whether you get on the internet and scam or not. If you are looking for me, I am Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood and Karma J. It all depends on the day. But I'm at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms. And yeah, holla at me.
Thank you. Thank you,
Mhm.
ladies. So my final thoughts and advice I would give to our viewers is if it seems too at first I echo all the ladies, but if it seems too good to be true, then it's probably not. And the same energy that you put into scamming, you can put that energy into doing something legit and building legacy, wealth, and a strong foundation for your family. And it's just not worth it to have all these things and to look the part and end up in jail. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Run, and don't let social media make you feel like somebody's life is better than yours. You're just getting a highlight reel of their life. Everybody experiences hardships. Everybody goes through things. It's just how you come out on the other side. Push through. Get around people that are like-minded and run. If it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So if you want to follow me, I am at the Whitmore Group on all social media platforms, or you can go to our website at thewhitmoregroup.com, where we can help you purchase, sell real estate all throughout the United States. And then now we have Miss Renee. She has our Black history.
Yay, yes, I do. So his name was Philip E. Magawale. Born 1954, he's a Nigerian American and computer scientist known as winning the 1989 Gordon Bills Prize. He was often known as the Bill Gates of Africa. Basically, he is the one who discovered World Wide Web, the internet. So it's kind of befitting that we had this conversation about everything's on the internet. This man did discover it. And I just want to say that at the same time, and then we kind of erase it a little bit, Tim Lee, he's a British computer scientist working somewhere. He invented the World Wide in 1989, which is kind of suspecting that all of a sudden in 89, we have our Nigerian American who did, and he won the Bell Prize, and then this other guy came through. So remember, Philip is the one who had discovered the World Wide Web, and he is a black Nigerian American.
Is he still alive?
That is a good question.
Okay.
I do not know.
Okay. All right. That's all right. You ain't got to know all the things.
All the things.
Well, thank you for Renee for that. So in closing, today, we had a wow story, but it's also a warning. A lot of people are chasing the look of success instead of doing the work for success. And the internet makes it worse because people are rewarded for appearances, even when it's fake. But at the end of the day, real wealth is built through discipline, consistency, and ownership. Not pretending, not borrowing, not stealing. Thank you for our queens for being here today. And thank you for everybody for watching. And make sure you like and subscribe. And we will be back here tomorrow on Fly Nubian Money. Bye.
Yeah.